You know, when I was growing up, my dad used to tell me poor planning produces poor results. So we take that to heart here at Landmark, and every job we do is going to have a layout or a plan that we're going to put together so that we're on the same page with our homeowners to make sure we're accomplishing their needs and goals. And then we have something that we can give our guys in the field that translates well into a completed project that goes according to plan. You know, whenever we start a pool project, we do a couple things. We'll lay it out, we stake out the pool, we paint it out, and then we shift it oftentimes, because when you draw it on paper, you know, as a designer, yeah, I can understand and feel that, and our team understands that, but a homeowner who's not used to doing that every day may want to shift things, because once we paint it and lay it out, then you can feel it. Like, okay, well, 10 feet, you know what, this actually feels kind of tight because I've got an 11-foot wall here. So I really want to be more like 14 feet out to where that feels comfortable. Sometimes there's cost implications whenever we shift and move a pool. Once we get a layout completed and everybody's good with the location of where the pool's going to go, next is excavation. And that's an exciting time in the project because here we go. We're starting to dig. It's instant progress. At Landmark, you know, we install fiberglass pools and we can dig any of our size pools in a day. The only exception to that is sometimes we hit a little bit of rock when we're digging. And then we got to get a hammer out and break through that and then excavate that out. And it takes a little more time, but it's not a big deal. Whenever we're doing excavation, we use lasers to check and see our elevations so that our sloped bottom of the pool, we dig it to hitting exactly where we need it. We tighten all that stuff down, and with our expertise and experience, we're very good at doing that. Once excavation is complete, now it's time to prep the base that the pool's going to rest on during installation. So the process for installing the base is we first compact the subgrade. So we'll put a compactor down and our guys will compact that subgrade to make it nice and tight, even out any uneven joints from the excavation process. The next step is we set our what we call screed rails. And what that is we have forms that go down each side of where the pool's going to rest. And we use a laser that is specifically tuned to the exact slope of your pool. Fiberglass pools have a consistent slope bottom. The pool here is actually a flat bottom, so it's flat. It's a sport pool. But a lot of pools will have an 8 or 9% slope, or 8.12 whatever percent. And our laser can laser that in, and when our guys set those screed rails, they can nail it so that it's perfect. Then they bring in clean gravel. It's an angular gravel, it's 3/8 chip. It's what our manufacturers recommend that we use for installation. It's easy to work with, but we bring that in lifts and we compact that as well. And then we use those screed rails, they'll pull that gravel across there. That way it's a perfect bed of gravel to set that pool on. The base is ready. Now we're ready for your pool. The pool will show up, our guys will unstrap, and then we'll carefully lift it off and bring it into the backyard. And then that machine will take it over to the hole and set it in. Now, as we're setting that pool, our guys are watching for exact alignment based on the plan and the layout. And they're also looking for to make sure that that pool, when it sets, is level. Now starts backfill and plumbing. When we look at a backyard, we're analyzing wind and sun directions and trees and all that stuff for proper placement of a skimmer. The skimmer is what pulls in surface debris off the water. When we do that, we cut our holes. You know, we use silicone. It's a product that's specially made for this application where it's constantly in contact with water and it's on the backside. It's resilient, strong, and durable. Now we go a little more than most pool builders because to us, it's cheap insurance, and I don't ever want a leak. I don't want you ever calling me that you've got a leak problem. So we go a little crazy with the silicone to make sure that that can never happen. So after you get your plumbing and stuff installed, next is lights. And you know, lights are installed the same way that a return fitting or a wall drain fitting is. But instead of a water pipe coming to the back of this, you're gonna have a conduit. Conduit is basically just plastic pipe, PVC, that you're going to run your wire through all the way back to the equipment pad. It's nice, instead of using a direct bury, so that when your light runs its life and you need to replace it, it's easy to do. You just pull that wire through and then pull the new one back over to the pad and install. Makes it easy. All right, so now that we are getting our equipment pad set up and our equipment installed on that pad, it's time for an electrician. So at Landmark, it's not a whole lot different when we're talking to our electricians about, do I want to bring 60 amps or 100 amps of power? We always just go for 100 because that gives you flexibility in the future. Maybe you didn't want to get a heater on the front end, but if you have the capacity and the power, then you can easily add it later without having to spend an additional 2 to 3 grand on an electrician at that time. We pride ourselves on building in flexibility into all of our systems. During this process, while that's going on, we typically have our guys doing backfill and filling the pool with water. Basically, right after we set that pool, we're gonna put the hose in and start filling it up. Now, when we are filling up a pool and we're doing our backfill, there's a process that we gotta use. And it's basically, you're gonna come up 12 inches of water, 12 inches of backfill. 12 inches of water, 12 inches of backfill. Why do we do that? Well, whenever you've got straight edge pools, especially straight edge pools, it's key so that you don't have too much pressure on one side that'll bow the pool out, or too much pressure on the other that'll bow it in. And we want that to be nice and straight. You know, fiberglass pools are a little bit flexible. So doing that in the correct order ensures a solid installation. Once we get our backfill and pool filled, then we get to the certain point that we're ready for the lock ring. Now, the lock ring's purpose is to help lock the shape of the pool and provide some structure at that top piece so that when we pour our pool deck, the weight of that concrete doesn't push in on that pool. That lock ring helps secure it. Lock ring's done. Awesome. What's next? Well, coping is typically what comes after that. There's all different kinds of coping that people like to use. Coping that we prefer is either concrete, it's cost effective, crazy durable. We sand it down so it's nice and smooth, and it typically goes well with everything else the homeowner's already got, and patios and things like that. But if we want to jazz it up, a very popular option is travertine, as you can see on this pool here. And travertine, it comes in, you know, we use mortar to secure that to the lock ring, and then we use a bead of silicone to lock that to the pool as well so that those are together and they're not going to come apart over time. After that, it's time for your pool deck. So with the pool deck, at Landmark, we like to do it what we consider the right way. And what that means is that we're going to do a gravel base, a compacted gravel base. We're going to have our forms set to make sure that our slope is going to work. We want all water to run away from our pool. Also, we tie what we call rebar or steel, and we use 24-inch on center. Once our rebar is tied together and installed, then we're ready for concrete. Now, when we pour concrete, we typically use 3,500 to 4,000 PSI, depending on environmental conditions. All right, concrete's installed. It looks great. We kind of got a mess, right? Construction's a dirty, messy process. We've got exposed dirt everywhere from trucks and machines coming in and out, and it's time to start cleaning that up. So at Landmark, our guys will come in and they're going to use our machines, and we're going to grade this so that we put the yard back to the natural drainage flow that was there previously. Unless there was a problem, then we fix it at that time as well. We'll bring in topsoil as needed so that we have a great base to bring in sod. This yard here's got Bermuda, and our guys will lay that out and they'll roll it in, and then we water. Depending on temperatures, it'll root in and do what we call heel in, which is where it just kind of stitches together and you can't see the sod lines anymore. And at that point, it looks like, you know, we were never here in terms of yard work. You've seen the process. You have a better understanding of how this works. What's the next step? Well, next step is give us a call or check out our website. Our website, landmarkpoolsandmore.com, has tons of information and more videos for you to check out and learn and see all the different kinds of pools and features that you can have on yours.